Morning, everyone. Did we start the story? Does anyone remember where we stopped? Can someone tell me where we stopped? Did we start the story?
No, sir.
Not started. Okay. So let us begin that story. It is titled Face on the Wall. We had given a brief introduction about the story. As the title of the story indicates, it is about a face. That is the central idea of the story. There is a face that emerges on a wall of the character in the story, the narrator of the story. And he feels that it might be the face of a real person. So that is the theme. We will go through the story and understand what it is about. Let us now read the first paragraph of the story. When the story begins, a group of people are discussing the mysterious. Okay, so they are discussing mystery. There are many mysterious things which we discussed. Similar things are discussed by people in the story. So they are discussed and they are having a discussion in a house in an evening, and each person will tell a story. So that is the idea that happens in the first paragraph. So now, let us now read the first paragraph. Archita T.S., please read the first paragraph.
സാർ നമ്മള് ഫസ്റ്റ് പാരഗ്രാഫ് ഒക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞു. അയാളെ സ്റ്റോറി പറയാൻ തുടങ്ങണ വരെ എത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു.
Okay. So the narrator has started telling the story. So that's where we stop. Okay, here. Is it here?
യെസ് സർ, എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് പറയാൻ തുടങ്ങാൻ.
Okay, so they asked him to begin the story. So that is where we stopped in the previous class. Okay. Yes, Archita, you can read it from there. This paragraph, yeah. Archita T.S., is she there? Anjima Surendran. Manjima Surendran. Revati PP.
Yes, sir. A year or two ago, he said I was in rooms in an old house in Great Ormond Street. The bedroom walls had been painted, but the place was damp and there were great patches on the walls. One of these exactly like face. In fact, the strange thing was that while the patches on the wall grew larger and changed their shapes, this never did. It remained just the same.
Thank you, Revati. So this is the main idea, that it is not a painting but a picture or a drawing. Neither of it. It is neither a painting or a picture. It is actually a mark which has happened because of the place was damp. Okay, so a mark that has come on the wall because of dampness. Dampness means moisture. I know that you were, so that is called moisture. So it is because of moisture on the wall that we have this something that appeared like a face of somebody on the wall. So there is no reason for anyone to think that it is a real person. So, but he mentions that there is one strange thing about this patch or this face on the wall, while all other patches kept changing according to the change in moisture. This remained the same. So that is something very strange. So this is something mysterious. Okay, all other patches have changed, but this remained just the same. It did not have any change at all. So that is the one peculiarity of this face on the wall, which has come up in the house of the storyteller, the narrator. So in the next paragraph, he explains how uh, how this has influenced him so much, how this has caused him uh, to have caused him to have a great impact on his life. How did it affect him so much, etc. Okay, next paragraph. Shima, please read.
While there I fell ill with influenza, and all day long I had nothing to do but read and think. It was then that the face began to get a firmer hold of me. It filled my thoughts day and night. There was a curious curve of the nose, and forehead was remarkable. In fact, the face of an uncommon man, a man in 1,000.
Thank you, Shima. So while he was in that room, it so happened that he became ill, sick, with a disease called influenza. Influenza is nothing but the flu, a viral infection, like we now have the COVID-19. Once you have a viral infection, you become completely tired and you will be bedridden. So the narrator was also bedridden. Because he was bedridden, he had nothing else to do. He cannot go out, so he had to read or uh, watch television or do some things like that. So he was confined inside the room. So when he was lying in his bed doing nothing else, he just looked at the wall, isn't it? So when we are lying in the bed, that is when we look at the roof, we look at the wall, etc. So then this face on the wall started getting a greater influence on him. That is also something very mysterious, that a mark on a wall, it's not a drawing or a painting, but a mark on the wall has got so much influence on this man who lives there. So why did it have so much of an influence? It was because that that the forehead of that man, or the face, was remarkable. So this forehead of the man, or the face of the man, was something very special. So the forehead was special. Curious curve of the nose was there. Curious means strange. So there was a strange curve of his nose. So these are some major features of the face. അങ്ങനെ പ്രത്യേകതകൾ, ഇങ്ങനത്തെ പ്രത്യേകതകൾ അവർ നമ്മൾ പ്രത്യേകം ശ്രദ്ധിക്കും. അതായത് മൂക്കിന് ഒരു നീളം കൂടിയ ആളുകൾ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നെറ്റി കുറേ വികസിച്ച ആളുകളെയൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കും. So this is a peculiarity this face had. What is this face? This is just a mark on the wall, but he feels that that is a special face because this had these features of a special curve of the nose, a strange curve of the nose, and a very strange or special forehead. Forehead means the upper part of the face, Nititara. So that is where this narrator feels that this face is that of an uncommon man, not a common man, a man in 1,000. That is a person who is very rare. That is the meaning of a man in 1,000, a rare person. He feels that this face that he sees on his room, on the wall of his house, is the face of a rare man. Okay, a man in 1,000 means such a person is rare. വിരളമായിട്ട് കാണും. So when he feels that such a person must be real, he starts searching for this man, because he feels that maybe such a person does exist somewhere. Who knows, maybe there is such a person. So that is why he starts going in search of this person. Bhagyashri, please read that paragraph.
Listen. Well, I got better, but the face still controlled me. I found myself searching the streets for one like it. Somewhere I was convinced the real man must exist, and him I must meet. Why, I had no idea. I only knew that he and I were some may lingered by fate. I often went to places where people gather in large numbers, political meetings, football matches, and railway stations, but all in vain.
Thank you, Bhagyashri. So when he got better after the disease, normally we will forget such things which happens during diseases, but this face had a very strong influence upon the narrator. He was so much influenced by it that he started searching the streets for a person like that. Somewhere I was convinced. Convinced means he was sure that there might be such a person. There might be such a person with this face. That is what he felt. And he started searching for such a person. And he also felt that he should meet such a person. Why did he have such a feeling? This is not a common feeling. You see a mark on the wall which resembles somebody, is a human face, or the face of a lady. You don't feel that it is the face. We don't normally feel that it is the face of a person. So why this man felt like this, he himself doesn't know. So that is why he says, why? I don't know. So why did I feel like that? Why? I had no idea. See, he only felt. So this is something what we call as intuition. He intuitively felt. So there is no scientific rational explanation for this. There is only an intuitive feeling, an inner feeling. Intuitive means something which is related to the mind or the heart. It is an inner feeling. So he feels that such a person might exist, and not only that, there is some relationship between his life and my life. That is why his picture has emerged, his face has emerged in my room. So he starts searching for that. So when you want to search for somebody, what do you usually do? You will go to places where you can meet people in large numbers. That is exactly what he did. He started frequenting places. He started going to places where people come in large numbers. Which are these places where people come in large numbers? Those are political meetings, football matches, and railway stations. Now you know the Euro Cup is going on. The Copa America is going on. So people will go to watch such matches, football matches. There will be large numbers of people. You can even meet somebody who you know when you go for such in such large gatherings. Mostly we meet people in such big gatherings like political meetings, or some in railway stations. When you are traveling, you meet people whom you know. So there is a chance of meeting people in places where they assemble in large numbers. So it is with this hope that he visited railway stations. He visited football matches. He went for football matches in the stadiums, and he also visited these gatherings, political gatherings. But he says that it was all in vain. Means it was all useless. Okay, so the efforts that he did for finding out this person was useless. Why was it useless? Because it is not the photograph of a person. It is a picture that has emerged because of moisture on the wall. So that is the reason with this why he could not find such a person. കുറേ സെർച്ച് ചെയ്തു, കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചില്ല. കുറേ നാൾ അയാൾ he spent a lot of time. So what will we do if we are in his place? Suppose we are in the place of this narrator. നമ്മളാണ് ഇയാളുടെ സ്ഥാനത്തെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? നമ്മൾ കുറേ സെർച്ച് ചെയ്തു, കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാൻ പറ്റിയില്ല. പിന്നെയും സെർച്ച് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുമോ നമ്മൾ? Will we continue to search? That's right, Shuma, you are right. We will just give up. We will stop searching. Isn't it? We will be fed up. We will feel that what is this? I have been searching for so much. Maybe such a person doesn't exist. We will avoid it. We will stop that search. But this man, he is not an ordinary man like us. This narrator, the little man. So you should remember that this story is told by the narrator, okay? And the narrator is also referred to in the story as the little man, okay? So It is not E.V. Lucas who is writing the story. E.V. Lucas is the author. Okay, E.V. Lucas is the author. He is not the narrator. Okay, so that is the difference between the narrator and the author. The author is E.V. Lucas, but the narrator is the little man. This is a very big difference which most people don't understand. They make big mistakes that they think that it is E.V. Lucas who is telling the story. No, E.V. Lucas is the author of the story, and the narrator of the story is the little man. So this little man, he is not an ordinary person like us who is going to drop a search just because he doesn't find it. So what happens to him? So that is what the next line tells us. This search becomes a madness with him. Okay, that is what he says. The search became a madness with me. I neglected everything else. No, neglect means to avoid. So when you are so passionate about something, you forget many things, to do many things. If you are so passionately watching a movie, you don't feel hunger, you don't feel thirst, because you are so much engrossed, you are so much interested in it. So this is what happened with him also. He was so mad with searching this man who has a face similar to the face that has appeared on his wall. So much so that he neglected his food, his sleep, his daily activities, his work even. Then what happened? Let us see. You see, he passed his hand over his brow as if he was very tired. Who is this he here? Who is the he here? Okay, Shima has written, it is it is the little man. Yes, maybe she means by boy. It is the little man. Okay, it is the narrator. Yes, the little man. He may not be a boy. He may be a ഷോർട്ട് മാൻ. അതുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കും അയാളെ ലിറ്റിൽ മാൻ എന്ന് വിളിക്കാൻ കാരണം. ഉയരം കുറഞ്ഞ ആളായതുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കും. അല്ലാതെ ഈസ് നോട്ട് എ ചൈൽഡ് പ്രോബബ്ലി. അയാളുടെ ഹൈറ്റ് കൊണ്ടായിരിക്കും അയാളെ ലിറ്റിൽ മാൻ എന്ന് വിളിക്കുന്നത്. Okay, so he is the narrator of the story. So this expression, passing your hand over his brow. Brow is also forehead. നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ ഫോർഹെഡിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നു. It is the same thing. Brow is the forehead. നെറ്റിത്തടമാണ്. So when you pass your hand over your brow, you indicate intense fatigue or tiredness. That is indicated by this action of passing your hand over your brow. നമ്മൾ നെറ്റിയിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ കൈകൊണ്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ നീക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഇൻഡിക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് എക്സ്ട്രീം ഫറ്റീഗാണ്. So why does he feel this fatigue when telling the story? A little man, this narrator, why is he feeling this intense fatigue when he is telling this story? അങ്ങനെ പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് കാരണമൊന്നുമില്ല. യു ക്യാൻ ഗെസ് സം റീസൺ. ഈസ് ഹി ഫീലിംഗ് സോ ടയർഡ്? There may be so many different reasons. You can just give some reason. Yes, very good, Shima. He spent so many days to find the face, but he couldn't. So at this stage, that tiredness that he felt at that time could be, he must be remembering that tiredness when he's telling the story also. ഇത് തുടങ്ങിയത് 1 or 2 years ago ആണ് ഈ കഥ തുടങ്ങുന്നത്, ആൻഡ് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് എൻഡിങ് ഓൺലി ദാറ്റ് ആഫ്റ്റർനൂൺ. സോ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് എ വെരി ലോങ് period that this story is happening. That is also the reason. So this experiences are so intense. So there are many reasons why he feels tired. One, as Shima says, is he spent so many days to find the face, but he could not find. Another reason could be that it is a very personal experience. It is not a story that he is telling. So when you narrate your own experience, you become so excited that you become so tired. That is also one reason. The third reason is that this experience had a very deep impact on this man. അയാളുടെ ജീവിതത്തെ ഒരുപാട് സ്വാധീനിച്ച ഒരു സംഭവമാണ്. That is also a reason that he felt intense fatigue. അപ്പോൾ അത് ഈ കേൾക്കുന്നവർക്കും ഫീൽ ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. ആ ഒരു ഇമോഷണൽ ഇമ്പാക്റ്റ് മറ്റ് കാണുന്നവർക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവാൻ കൂടിയാണ് നമ്മൾ ഞാൻ ക്ഷീണിച്ചു എന്ന് കാണിക്കാനാണല്ലോ നമ്മൾ നെറ്റി ഇങ്ങനെ, അതായത് നമ്മൾ വേർപ്പ് തുടയ്ക്കുന്ന ഒരു എക്സ്പ്രഷനാണ്. So why he is showing this expression is to make it is also to create an impact upon the listeners of a story. കേൾക്കുന്നവരിൽ ഒരു ഇമ്പാക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാനും കൂടിയിട്ടാണ്. So there are so many reasons why he feels fatigue. Okay, you can give any reason. So these are all valid reasons. ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒന്ന് നമുക്ക് ശരിയാണെന്നോ തെറ്റാണെന്നോ പറയാനില്ല. So he feels tired, and that അത് കാണിക്കുമ്പോൾ, ടയർഡ്നെസ് കാണിക്കുമ്പോൾ സ്റ്റോറി കേൾക്കുന്നവരിലും ഒരു ഇഫക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാവും. ഓക്കെ, and in this paragraph, very strange thing happens. This man, he finds out the person that he is searching for. അപ്പം നമ്മൾ ഒരിക്കലും കാണില്ല എന്ന് വിചാരിച്ച ആളെ അയാൾ കണ്ടെത്തുകയാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. So that is what happens in this paragraph. Binsi, please read.
He passed his hand over his brow as if he was very tired, and then he continued. I at last saw him. He was in taxi driving his long Piccadilly. I turned and ran beside it for a little way, and then saw an empty one coming. Follow the taxi, I said, and leapt in. The driver managed to keep it in sight, and it looked us to Charing Cross. I rushed onto the platform and found my man with two ladies and a little girl. They were going to France. I stayed there, tried to get a word with him, but in vain. Other friends had joined the party, and they moved to the train in one group.
Thank you, Binsi. He says, I at last saw him. I at last saw whom? I saw him എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ ആരാണ്? Who is this him? Who did he see? I is the little man. Little boy അല്ല കേട്ടോ, ലിറ്റിൽ മാൻ ആണ്. ലിറ്റിൽ മാൻ എന്ന് പറയാൻ കാരണം ദ മാൻ ഇസ് എ ഷോർട്ട് മാൻ, ഉയരം കുറഞ്ഞ ആളാണ്. So don't misunderstand that the narrator is a boy or a small child. കുട്ടിയല്ല അയാള്, ഉയരം കുറഞ്ഞ മനുഷ്യൻ, അതാണ് ലിറ്റിൽ മാൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. So that is the I here. My question is, who is the him? I at last saw him എന്ന് ലിറ്റിൽ മാൻ പറയുമ്പോൾ I എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ലിറ്റിൽ മാൻ ആണ്. പക്ഷെ ആരെയാണ് കണ്ടത്? Who is this him that he is talking about? That is right, Shima. It is the, yes, Krishna, it is the face on the wall. The owner of that face. That is very precise answer, Sri Lakshmi. So he sees the man with the honor, with the face. Okay, so he is the owner of that face. Okay, so him is the owner of the face. So I saw him means the narrator sees the man with the face on the wall. So where did he see him? While he was standing in the street. Okay. So that man with the face on the wall, he was in a taxi driving east along Piccadilly. Piccadilly is, you can see here, in a road in the west of city of Westminster, London, in London, and that is where he was. And he remained there on the street while this man was going in a taxi. So he goes, he follows the taxi for some time. He says that I turned and ran beside it for a little way. So he turns and runs beside the taxi for some time. He runs beside the taxi for some time. But you know, you cannot run along with the vehicle. But he tries. So, and then he sees an empty taxi coming, and like you see in movies, he says, follow that taxi, and he jumps into that taxi. Okay, so this is what you call a chase in movies. In movies, you can see such examples of chases. So what happens here is he is trying to meet that person. Okay, and so he is so mad that he cannot wait for the taxi to stop and then get into it. He just jumps into the taxi, leaped in. So he jumped into the taxi. And the driver understands that this is something very serious, and he drives very fast, but it seems the taxi going in front is going even more faster than the taxi that is following, because the driver of this taxi was only able to keep it in sight. He was not even able to go near the taxi going in front. മുമ്പിൽ പോകുന്ന ടാക്സിയുടെ അടുത്തെത്താൻ പറ്റില്ല എന്ന് മാത്രമല്ല, he was only able to keep it in sight. മുമ്പിൽ പോകുന്ന ഇങ്ങനെ കാണാം, അത്ര ഫാസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടാണ് ആ വണ്ടി പോയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. And where are they going? They are going to the railway station. So it seems they are going to leave that country. So they are going to the railway station. So this man also, the narrator also decides to follow and go to the railway station. So he hopes that before that person gets into the train, he will be able to meet him. Railway station ചെന്നാലും അയാളെ കാണാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കും എന്നായിട്ട് he feels. So it says that he understands that. But he understands, because they are going to the railway station, he understands that they are going to France. Charing Cross is the name of that place where the railway station is situated. So on the platform, he finds that man, he sees that man, and there were two ladies along with him and a small girl. A little girl was there. And that is where he finds these people. I stayed there try to get a word with someone, means to try to talk to someone. And so that's the meaning of this phrase. This is a phrase, to get a word with someone. It means to talk to somebody. That's the meaning. Get a word with someone means to talk to someone. So he tries to talk to this man, but what happens is that is also in vain. I mean, they may vain, meaning of vain. The meaning of vain. Yes, Lakshmi, it is without success, it is uh, useless. Okay, so that's the meaning of vain. Yes. Futile എന്നൊക്കെ ഒരുപാട് വാക്കുകളുണ്ട്. That's the same meaning. That's right, Shima. So his attempt was in vain, means his attempt was without success. What was his attempt? He tried to talk to this man, but that attempt was without success. Why was it without success? Because before he could go and talk to that man, many others had joined this man. പെട്ടെന്ന് ആരൊക്കെയോ ഇയാളുടെ കൂടെ കൂടി. And they moved to the train in one group. അവരൊരു ഗ്രൂപ്പുമായിട്ട് അങ്ങനെ കയറി. ഗ്രൂപ്പിന്റെ ഇടയിൽ കൂടെ ഇയാളുടെ അടുത്ത് പോയി സംസാരിക്കാൻ പറ്റിയില്ല. So they joined and they moved in one group into the train. So this man, the narrator, has no plans to travel. So his attempt to talk to this man is unsuccessful. So what will we do if we are in such a situation? നമ്മളാണെങ്കിൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? നമ്മളൊരാളെ കാണാൻ വേണ്ടി ഫോളോ ചെയ്തു, റെയിൽവേ സ്റ്റേഷനിലെത്തി, അയാളുടെ അടുത്ത് സംസാരിക്കാന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുമ്പോഴേക്കും അയാളെ ട്രെയിൻ കയറിപ്പോയി. നമ്മളാണെങ്കിൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? Very good, Joffy. If we were in the place of this little man, we will come back. നമ്മളാണെങ്കിൽ തിരിച്ചു വീട്ടിൽ വന്നൊരു ചായ കുടിച്ച് കിടന്നുറങ്ങാൻ നോക്കും. That is what we will do. But this man, this narrator, is not an ordinary man. He is not an ordinary man. Like us, we are all ordinary people. But this narrator is not an ordinary man. അയാൾ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒന്ന് വിചാരിച്ച്, he is so passionate. അതാണ്. It's not just that he is not an ordinary man. He is so passionate about meeting with this man. നമ്മളാണെങ്കിൽ തിരിച്ചു വന്നേനെ. But this man continues to follow him. So at least he hopes that he can meet him before he leaves in a ship to France. Train കയറി ഹാർബറിൽ പോയി ഷിപ്പിൽ കയറിയിട്ട് വേണം ഫ്രാൻസിലേക്ക് പോകാൻ. There is a small water body which is called the English Channel, which divides England and France. So before he leaves in the ship, the narrator hopes that he can meet him. So he takes a ticket to the next station where the man will get down to go to France. So he hopes to meet the person before he gets into the ship. So he decides to purchase a ticket. So that is Nandana Raj.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. Sir,
Yeah, please read that. Yes. Please read.
I have purchased a ticket to Fox that I should catch him on the boat before it it sailed. But at Folkestone, he got on the ship before me with his friends, and they disappeared into a large private cabin.
Thank you, Mandana. I hastily purchased a ticket. Haste means hurry. Because this is not a planned travel, the train has already come. So he runs to the counter and buys a ticket. ഇതിനു വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. So that he can catch him on the boat before it sailed. So it is with this purpose that he purchases the ticket to Folkestone, hoping that he could catch him, hoping that he could get him on the boat before it sailed. But at Folkestone, what happened? So Folkestone is the station from where they will board on to the ship to go to France. Unfortunately, they got into a large private cabin onto the ship. So before he could meet him, that man had got into the ship and entered a private cabin. So as we discussed earlier, if we were in his place, we will have returned home, we would have come back home. We would not have followed this long event. But this narrator, the little man, is so passionate about meeting this man with the face on the wall, the man who has this face on the wall. He wants to interact with him, he wants to talk to him. So he decides to go to France. Imagine, you should remember that this narrator was standing on the street. വെറുതെ റോഡ് സൈഡിൽ നിൽക്കുന്ന ഒരാളായിരുന്നു. ഇപ്പോൾ he is traveling to a country, another country. For us, traveling somewhere requires a long time of planning, preparation, etc. നമ്മളൊരു സ്ഥലത്തേക്ക് പോകണമെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ചിലപ്പോൾ ഒരാഴ്ച മുമ്പേ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യാൻ തുടങ്ങും അതിൻ്റെ സാധനങ്ങളൊക്കെ എടുത്ത് വയ്ക്കാനും കൊണ്ടുപോകേണ്ട സാധനങ്ങളൊക്കെ. Because traveling is such a planned affair for us. Here you can see this man is traveling to another country without any planning at all. So how does this happen? When you are so passionate about it, you forget the negative things that can happen. There is no analysis in your mind. You don't analyze in your mind what can happen. So that is the peculiarity when you are traveling. I mean, when you are passionate about something. നമ്മൾ ട്രാവൽ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ എന്തിനാണ് ഇത്രയും പ്രിക്കോഷൻസ് എടുക്കുന്നത്? Why are we planning so much? Why are we preparing so much? So that we do not have any difficulties while we are traveling. We take as many pairs of dresses that we require. We take all the kinds of traveling goods that we may need in the other place where we are going to. We pack up everything. We even pack up the food that we may require in case we don't get food there. We take the food that we require while traveling. So all these things are planned and prepared for while traveling. But this is an unprepared travel for this narrator because he is so passionate about meeting this man. So that is what he describes in the next paragraph. He was so decided, he was so determined to meet this man that he decides to travel in the ship. He decides to talk to that man by going in the ship. So that is the next paragraph. Jofi, please read that.
He received ladies and come out on the deck. I had almost enough for him to Boulogne, but nothing could stop at his cabin and and but the girl, my heart beat fast. The face, every line was the same. He looked at me and moved towards the way to the upper deck. It was now or never, I felt.
Thank you, Joffrey. So again, I was defeated. See, why does he say that again I was defeated? എന്നാണ് ആ ഒരു phrase. Again I was defeated. What is the meaning of that? That is right. Yes. പിന്നെയും തോറ്റു ഫെയിൽഡ് ഒക്കെ തന്നെയാണ് ബട്ട് വൈ ഈസ് ഹി സേയിങ് ദാറ്റ് again I was defeated? Was he defeated before? So he was defeated many times before. How was he defeated many times before? First, he tried to run with the taxi. Then he was defeated. Then he followed that man in the taxi. He could not even reach near that taxi. That is the second time he was defeated. ഈ പഴയൊരു സിനിമയുണ്ട് മറ്റേ മമ്മൂട്ടിയുടെ പടം, നിങ്ങൾ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോന്ന് എനിക്കറിയില്ല, വടക്കൻ വീരഗാഥയാണ്. ആ ഡയലോഗ് ഓർമ്മയുണ്ടാർക്കെങ്കിലും, മിമിക്രി അറിയുന്നവർക്ക് ഓർമ്മയുണ്ടാവും ചിലപ്പോൾ. അതായത് പിന്നെയും തോറ്റു ചന്തു എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ട്, പിന്നെ തോൽക്കാൻ ചന്തുവിൻ്റെ ജീവിതം പിന്നെയും ബാക്കി എന്ന് അയാൾ പറയുന്നുണ്ട്, മമ്മൂട്ടിയുടെ ക്യാരക്ടർ. യെസ് ജസ്റ്റ് അതിൻ്റെ ഡയലോഗ് എവിടെയെല്ലാം നോക്കേണ്ടി വരും. ചന്തുവിനെ തോൽപ്പിക്കാൻ അവരുടെ മക്കളെ ഉണ്ട്, പക്ഷെ അത് അത് തന്നെയാണോ എന്നറിയാം, ആ ഡയലോഗിന്റെ ഒപ്പാണോ എന്നറിയില്ല. പക്ഷെ തോൽവികൾ ഏറ്റുവാങ്ങാൻ ചന്തുവിന്റെ ജീവിതം പിന്നെയും ബാക്കി എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു let me see whether I can find that exact line somewhere.
ജീവിതത്തിൽ ചന്തുവിനെ തോൽപ്പിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട് പലരും പലവട്ടം. മലയനോട് തൊടുത്തു മരിച്ച എന്റെ അച്ഛൻ ആദ്യം തന്നെ എന്നെ തോൽപ്പിച്ചു. സ്നേഹം പങ്കുവയ്ക്കുമ്പോൾ കൈവറച്ച ഗുരുനാഥൻ പിന്നെ തോൽപ്പിച്ചു. ഒന്നിനും പണത്തിനും ഒപ്പിച്ച് സ്നേഹം തൂക്കി നോക്കിയപ്പോ മോഹിച്ച പെണ്ണു എന്നെ തോൽപ്പിച്ചു. അവസാനം സത്യം വിശ്വസിക്കാത്ത ചെങ്ങാതിയും തോൽപ്പിച്ചു. തോൽവികൾ ഏറ്റുവാങ്ങാൻ ചന്തുവിന്റെ ജീവിതം പിന്നെയും ബാക്കി.
So this is how you can be defeated so many times. You can fail. So there is a difference between the feeling of getting defeated and getting defeated. You may be defeated many times, but if you do not take that defeat in your heart, you are not defeated. You can fail, but you cannot be defeated. വേറൊരു saying. ഒരുപാട് തവണ തോറ്റത് കൊണ്ട് നമ്മൾ ഡിഫീറ്റ്, യു നീഡ് നോട്ട് അക്സെപ്റ്റ് ഡിഫീറ്റ്. യു ക്യാൻ ട്രൈ അഗെയിൻ, കീപ് ഓൺ ട്രൈ അഗെയിൻ. Maybe you will attain success in the next attempt. So he says he was defeated. നമ്മളാണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മളതൊക്കെ അവിടെ ഇട്ടിട്ട് പോകും. ഒരു സബ്ജക്റ്റ് പഠിക്കാൻ ട്രൈ ചെയ്തു, അത് കിട്ടുന്നില്ല, ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ട്, യു ഡ്രോപ്പ് ദാറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ഗോ അവേ. ബട്ട് ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് നോട്ട് ദി quality of a warrior. Why am I telling the example of Chandu? Is that is the quality of a warrior. He was from his childhood he was defeated, he says. Even from his born, from the very moment of his birth, he was defeated. But still, that is the quality of a warrior, that he keeps on fighting till the end. So that is also, we are also supposed to do. So this should actually inspire us. The story of that little man should inspire us to continue to fight and not to yield. Ulysses എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു ക്യാരക്ടർ ഉണ്ട്. To search, to find and not to yield എന്നാണ് അയാളുടെ മോട്ടോ. വിട്ടുകൊടുക്കാതിരിക്കുക. To search, അങ്ങനെ to search, to find and not to yield. That is, I will not surrender. I will keep on searching, I will try to find and not to yield. So that is the spirit of a warrior. And actually life is a battle for everyone, whether we are a student or the warriors. മാത്രമല്ല ലൈഫ് ഒരു യുദ്ധമാകുന്നത്. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ കോവിഡിനെതിരെയും യുദ്ധമാണെന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. Why is it? Because it is something very serious we are fighting against. So life itself is a battle that we are fighting, and we have to be like warriors. We should not get disappointment. So that is why he says, I determined. He is a decision. He is taking the decision. So you can be defeated, but if you never accept defeat, you will find success in the end. Success is only for the person who goes on searching, who goes on, continues to fight. Only then we will attain success. So that, I think, is the message of this. And we all did not give a detailed explanation of what Jogi had read. So here he says that he decides to go with him. അതൊരു തീരുമാനമാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അയ്യോ, ഞാൻ വീട്ടിൽ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ലല്ലോ, ഞാൻ തുണി എടുത്തിട്ടില്ല, ഒരു തോർത്ത് പോലും എടുത്തിട്ടില്ല അയാൾ. He doesn't have anything with him. He is traveling to another country. And he has no plans to travel, so he has just enough money. അത്രയധികം പൈസയൊന്നും ഒരു മനുഷ്യൻ കയ്യിൽ കൊണ്ടു നടക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. So he has just enough money to pay for the fare to reach Boulogne. Boulogne is a place in France. അപ്പോൾ ഈ സ്ഥലത്തിലേക്ക് പോകാനായിട്ട് ബൊളോൺ എന്നാണ് അതിൻ്റെ പ്രൊനൗൺസിയേഷൻ. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് എ പ്ലേസ് ഇൻ ഫ്രാൻസ്. അവിടേക്കാണ് ഈ ഷിപ്പ് പോകുന്നത്. ഇംഗ്ലണ്ടിലെ ഈ മറ്റേ ഫോക്സ്റ്റൺ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഹാർബർ, ഫോക്സ്റ്റൺ ഹാർബറിൽ നിന്നും ബൊളോൺ ഹാർബർ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഫ്രാൻസിലുള്ള ഷിപ്പ് വന്ന് ചേരുന്ന സ്ഥലം, അവിടേക്കാണ് ഈ ഷിപ്പ് പോകുന്നത്. സോ ഹി ഹാസ് ഓൺലി മണി ടു ഗോ ദർ. തിരിച്ചെങ്ങനെ വരും എന്നുള്ള ചിന്തയൊന്നുമില്ല. ഹി ഡസൻറ്റ് ഹാവ് എനി thought, because it is not a planned journey. He doesn't have money, So he has only the amount to go to fair, to go to balloon. But he says nothing could stop me now, because he was, when you are dedicated to a purpose, determined എന്ന് ഇവിടെ പറയുന്നത്, he is decided, dedicated to this purpose, nothing can stop you. When you are so passionate about something, nothing can stop you. So he says nothing could stop me. And what does he do? He waits outside the cabin door of this man, hoping that this man will come out at some time and he will try to talk to him. And and then he becomes successful. See, after he says, I was defeated many times, but in the end, he becomes successful. So it is not necessary that you, after multiple failures, you will end with failure. It's not true. So even after multiple failures, you can end with success. And that is why he was successful in meeting this man. And he was able to meet and see this person. And he gets an opportunity to talk to him. So that is why he says it is now or never. ഇപ്പോഴാണ് അവസരം. Now or never. ഇപ്പം സംസാരിച്ചില്ലെങ്കിൽ പിന്നെ ഒരിക്കലും സംസാരിക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. So he decides to go and talk to this man by moving on to the deck. Deck is the upper portion of the ship, where you can have a wide view of the ocean. ഈ ടൈറ്റാനിക്കിലൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാവും, പിന്നെ ഡെക്കിൻ്റെ അവിടെ കൈയൊക്കെ നീട്ടിങ്ങനെ വെക്കണം. So that is the upper portion of the ship, where you have a very beautiful view of the entire ocean. So that he goes to the deck along, following the man who goes with that little girl. He hopes to talk to that man. So what does he talk to him? What is his interaction with him? What is the result of that interaction? All those things we will discuss in the next class. Thank you for joining. Have a wonderful day and goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.